this is Amara Gray and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to stop caring what other people think. So we're going to look at reasons why we shouldn't care and how this can actually benefit our lives as well. But also we're going to embrace our authentic self, like that's what my channel is all about. Productivity, personal development, but also being creative and expressive in your own right. So let's get into it. So my first tip is to love yourself, and that's to embrace your wins as well as your losses in life. I think it's so important when it comes to like stop caring what other people think is to recognize your own triumphs in life and to also appreciate that it's okay to make mistakes as well. Like don't think that because things are not going so smoothly in your life that means that you are essentially imperfect or unworthy. Like no, things happen and that's okay. So love yourself through all motions in life. That's one big tip that I would advise. But to also have fun, like embrace that you're changing. The next tip is to practice going against the grain, like doing your own thing and standing in your own right. Not only this is going to make you feel more confident, but in fact you are now valuing yourself even more, because if you're living for other people and you are considering their opinions more than your own, you're not living your life. Like, what's the point of living your life if you're living it through someone else's lens? That's kind of unfair, and it's an injustice to who you are and who you deserve to be. And with that being said as well, like let go of the need to carry on saying yes to things you don't agree with. Like stand in your own right, stand in your own values, have your own principles. That will make you feel more confident too. Detach yourself from being liked. Again, it is normal to want to be liked by other people, so I will say that. However, if you practice that detachment, not only you will stop caring what other people think, you will start to appreciate what you like yourself. And I think that is more enlightening in this life. Like you come to this planet alone, there's so much journeys you're going to go on alone as well. So this is not to say discredit completely other people's opinions, but just detach yourself. So much instances where we judge a book by its cover, we judge things by sight, and with more time and experience we realize, oh, we're wrong about that perception. So that's the same with meeting people. There's people you might meet and you might think, you know what, they're not really my vibe, or I don't really like them as much. But as you get to know them, you realize you might have more in common, and in fact you like them. So it just goes to show you how like human beings, we're not that consistent, and we can be hypocritical when we're ready. So just be wary of people's opinions. The next tip is to open yourself up to criticism, and remember that criticism is not always a bad thing. I think, in my opinion, my personal opinion, you should celebrate it. You should actually celebrate the fact that someone is taking the time out to comment on your work, your behavior, your conduct, because it shows that you are in a way making a difference. And in fact, most of the time when people do critique you, it is in their best interest, in your best interest to help you improve. To not care what other people think, you need to balance what is healthy criticism or good criticism and what is just negative feedback. My next tip is to learn how to control and master your emotions. This doesn't mean completely switch off. This simply means to be in control and to also understand that it's okay to feel things. That's fine. Just don't let that dictate your decision making as such. In order to stop caring about what other people think of you, you need to understand that sometimes people just say things. As I mentioned earlier, first impressions, yes, they count 100%, but they can change too. We human beings, we can be quite inconsistent. So that goes to show you how if you're clinging on to a perception of you that might be negative, that person might have forgotten about that perception of you in the first place. They might have changed their mind about you. My next tip is to ask and try not to assume the worst. I think most of us can sometimes overthink and assume the worst and think that we are not present ourselves in the best way possible. However, if you just ask the source, you will find out for yourself, and that will give you the clarity and the confidence to judge yourself in a better way instead of waiting for others to judge you first, because you are actually being proactive, you are taking agency and what's important to you. Asking shows that you are confident and you're prepared to be wrong. The last tip for this video is to understand that you're probably your worst critic. So with considering or being overly concerned about other people's opinions is a waste of time, because not only you might be paranoid, you might be thinking the worst of yourself, other people are living their own lives. They're living their own lives, they're doing their own thing. Yes, they might perceive you, they might have an idea of you, but that impression might not last long. And consider the source it's coming from. Like, be very intentional about whose opinions matter to you and whose opinions are going to influence you for the better. Especially in the workplace as well, you've got to consider, okay, is this going to have my personal development? Is this going to make a better person? Is this going to improve my life? And if that's the case, absolutely take it on board. But some criticism is purely negative. So just throw it in the trash, ignore it, and move on from it. This was Amari's great. I hope my tips has helped you to stop caring what other people think and live life for yourself. Live life for yourself. You deserve to be happy, you deserve to be confident, and you deserve to enjoy this human experience. I hope to see you soon. Bye.